How's it going, man?
Hey, good morning. Drew, is it?
Yeah, it's Drew.
Elton. Yes,
Elton,
pleasure.
how's it going, man?
Yeah, it's going.
So you're the vocalist, right?
Yeah, and the rhythm guitar player.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I did see you playing guitar as well on the videos I was watching on YouTube. So that was cool.
Uh-huh.
I,
Yeah.
I I don't know how you guys do that stuff, man. I can't carry a note in a bucket and or play a guitar, let alone do it at the same time. Not a good idea for me. So you guys that can
Sure.
do that, man, absolute kudos, dude. So
Uh, Thanks, man. Yeah, it is tough to do two things at the same time, basically.
So just I'll pull up all my questions and everything I had for you guys. And
Sure.
so you guys are just starting off, or you've been together a while and just now starting putting stuff out, or
Um, yeah, with this project for the Ninja Kitties,
Mhm.
we just released an album in March on digital platforms, basically every digital platform out there,
Mhm.
through DistroKid. And so we're touring that locally right now. But
Oh,
some of the music goes back though. I did a small EP in 2020,
mhm.
and then COVID created some issues. We didn't finish it.
Right.
So after some time, I got things together and decided to do it myself, finish that
Mhm.
project, finish. So we kind of picked. So this is picking up with something I had started about 6 years ago, but some of the songs go back even further than that over the years. They just kicked them around, find them, work with them. And so what we get with the Ninja Kitties album is like a kind of best of for the punk that I had been old and new school punk music I've been
Mhm.
working on for years. And I just modernized everything, basically updated it. But some of those songs really go back, man, like 20 years. Yeah.
So I am very curious about one thing before we get too deep into this. When you guys were sitting there trying to think of band names, what was it that said yes, Ninja Kitties? That was how did you guys
Right.
finalize on
S-
that one, man?
someone asked something. I was doing a promo for the album on a live stream, and someone had asked the same question. Why that name? Why the Ninja Kitties? So one of our songs is Ninja Kitties, and it's an anthem, basically for like I think of a superhero group or like a comic book
Mhm.
group, right? Ninja kittens that fight crime, right? Just kick ass. So it was kind of playful. And something about that just stuck with me.
Mhm.
For the project, I wanted it to be lighthearted. It's just fun as
Yeah,
opposed to like pretentious, maybe very serious.
yeah.
I did, some. So that's basically where I landed on that. And yeah, we're doing. I thought of this idea that kind of goes with it. It's like I don't know, a shtick, I don't know, a thing you call it. I don't know what you call it, but I produced a comic for us for the Ninja Kitties, and it was just
Mhm.
completed like 4 or 5 days ago. The first issue was just finished. It's 26 pages,
Wow,
and I can show you some if you want to check some out. And
absolutely.
we're looking for a publisher right now, so I could do it as an independent,
Mhm.
include it with the record. That's what I was aiming on. So you get a package for the album Ninja Kitties, but then you also have the first issue comic with it. And so I thought it was just kind of something came to me. I thought about creating a story world for the fans as well to enjoy that dimension for the
Mhm.
Ninja Kitties. Um, but I have a colleague, Pat Jankowitz, a friend of mine who's a
Mhm.
famous journalist. He's
Mhm.
helping us right now, kind of shop it around, looking for a publisher. However long that takes, though, you're going to include it as an
Mhm.
independent, at least with for the time being, with any order of the record. So if you order the record, you'll get a copy of the that comic. And so it's projected. It's like 5 issues. We've already
Mhm.
storyboarded some and worked on the
Mhm.
story, all that. It's that's all work. But the first issue is already done. All the art and letters, everything is done with it, and it's not cheap making a comic. Usually what people do is they sell space, ad space
Mhm.
to different people, and people buy space,
Mhm.
and that will pay for the production of the comic. But so as an independent, we did it. We're not selling space, so it's kind of like an investment of
Yeah.
love for the music. But so that kind of goes with the whole name, though, the question,
Yeah.
why the Ninja Kitties? There's this comic book dimension to those characters with the music. So Ninja Kitties is like their theme song. Think of it that way. Yeah.
That's awesome, man. That's honestly awesome. What I thought was funny was the timing of Evan from Tag Entertainment reaching out to me about you guys,
Nice.
because I'm sure you've seen it on YouTube where they have the AI videos of the cats or kittens fighting the
Oh
kung
yeah.
fu movies and stuff.
Yeah.
I've been on a massive kick with that, and then Evan reaches out, "Hey, have you heard of these guys?" And I just started laughing, man. I mean, I was laughing so hysterically. And it was just the timing of things, man. It's like, tell me the universe isn't listening without telling me. So,
Yeah, sometimes that happens, huh? Yeah. I felt like that for several other things too
uh,
with the music. We do a song that Supergirl coincides with the release of this movie.
mhm.
That was just a coincidence, though. So I don't know. I couldn't have planned it better,
Yeah,
but that's
yeah,
just a
yeah,
coincidence. Yeah. So, but with Ninja Kitties, that's funny because I see those all over too.
yeah.
And it looks fun. We have cats like blowing things up and doing funny stuff.
And
But
just doing
yeah.
full on kung fu. It's old style kung fu. We're talking like 70s and
Mhm.
60s. It's
Okay.
great, man. It's just
Yeah.
great. So just out of curiosity, say 20 years from now, they're making a documentary about the Ninja Kitties. What's the opening scene in your mind?
Oh, cool. Probably like an old school kung fu movie scene where there's like some encounter for a martial arts, the fight scene, some epic fight scene, and as a funny into what we were just talking about, the reason for the name, the background for the name setting, introducing using comedy.
Hmm.
I think for it. So that would be really
Absolutely.
cool, something like that. Yeah, and then you're just like, what is this? And that'd be really cool if it looked awesome, and then
Oh
it had
yeah,
you thinking like, hey, did I miss this really good movie or something? And that would be really awesome. Of course, with me, that wouldn't
absolutely.
happen, but yeah.
So I'm just curious, the moment that convinced each of you guys this was not just another garage project. What was there like a specific thing? Was it a lead up to it, or was it just you knew going in, this we're making this happen?
Oh, yeah, interesting. Um, yeah, so I've been doing music, uh, but as an independent um producer and I've been doing music for a long time,
Mhm,
and then COVID really brought things to a close for me as an indie because of just the money.
mhm,
But also I just threw myself into my work really. I think so back then I was more serious about it than
mhm,
just doing a garage. I like garage rock though. Some of the influence for the music is garage rock
mhm,
oriented. Like if you actually study the history of garage rock, you listen to bands like the Sonics or whatever, and they're I love those bands,
mhm,
and I draw from that sound,
mhm.
and even if it's an older sound, like some of the technique from what is it it's from garage rock bands, Shadows of Night. They inspired songs like Woman Without a Face. Like, so I'll learn techniques that are old that they were doing before we were using solid bodies a lot, like
Mhm.
before the Hendrix explosion when everyone was bending like crazy afterward, right?
Yeah.
So we were still on the hollow bodies and doing fast boogie woogie licks. You listen to Alvin Lee and his stuff with 10 years after or something like that. Like that there was this emerging sound. You could study the history of rock and see what they were doing before we take, the things we take for granted. So I looked at a lot of those acts to
Mhm.
draw inspiration.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, so that has helped inform my sound. And I think for some time I had been serious about music. And then more recently I decided I'm going to do this album because I got the time and the means
Mhm.
to do it. Whereas because of COVID, I wasn't able to.
Right.
And it just happened to take me 6 years to do it. Some other people came back quick.
Mhm.
Some other people haven't even have gone away. Like things have dissolved, and it's just
Yeah.
circumstantial depending on whatever was going on for those acts, those artists, the
Yeah.
labels, whatever. So for me, I was just able in a position to finally finish something I started in 2020 that I didn't get it complete because everything was shut up. And for that year, for during that lockdown pandemic, that during the lockdown for that pandemic, no one was hiring acts. Remember that year they were like,
Yeah.
and so people were complaining, restaurant workers were complaining how they're supposed to make a living.
Yeah.
I don't know if you remember that. So we were like, yeah, I guess we're not doing anything. You know what I mean? So some people could just wait that out,
Hmm.
no problem, but others couldn't, so I just threw myself into work and eventually got the means to finish a project I had started. That happened to be the Ninja Kitties project. We were using a different name at the time with a different
Hmm.
singer, and I tried to contact the singer. We had talked about drawing things back together and finishing this album over the course of 5 years, 6 years, but things kept falling through.
Yeah.
And so eventually I just lost touch with him, and I
Hmm.
just cannot for the life of me raise this guy. And he was an excellent singer. He's just this beautiful singer. Yeah, it sucks. People were like public, PR, A&R people were
Hmm.
hitting me up saying, you cannot lose this singer. He's like Chris Cornell. I'm like, yeah, I know. I work with good singers, but then then that happened. So I told myself, okay, if I'm going to do this, then I have to do all the vocals, because
Hmm.
I can't perform and then promote and sell something different.
Hmm.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So I had to literally track all the vocals on the whole album all over in, I think, December 2025. And so when I went in there, and I'm a guitar player, and I play like a dozen instruments, but I wasn't doing lead vocals for the act.
Hmm.
So I had to force it and do lead vocals and just get them done. And so now that's what the act is. I'm the lead singer now, not just a guitar player or a bassist or whatever.
Right.
Couldn't get a hold of my other singer,
Hmm.
but I can do the work, and it's fun. It's just a lot of work to do
Yeah.
vocals and guitar. Yeah, so I take it seriously, and I'm going to give it my best for a time when we promote this material.
Hmm.
There's going to be a lifespan to it. There's a lifespan to everything, you
Yeah.
know. So I'm focusing on it right now. If I can't get my hope is to draw some attention from a label or someone with enough backing money, then
Hmm.
maybe and interest, we could maybe do another album if I could get
Yeah.
backing. Otherwise, it's going to be too difficult to do it as an indie
Hmm.
producer myself, time and money wise.
Oh yeah.
But that might not happen, and probably won't happen. But for the time being, I'm really focusing on that Ninja Kitties material. So
Hmm. That's awesome. Honestly, it sucks that you lost the guy, but sometimes life takes us where we need to be, and
yeah.
sometimes it's just inconvenient for others. So,
Yeah, he
uh,
was by far a better singer, because we could do like Bill Withers, soulful music. He's got this great soul voice,
mhm,
and so layering it over punk, it's nothing like you've heard, because punk musicians don't think like that.
right,
Punk music isn't driven by its vocalist,
right,
right? Like with pop, it's a
right,
vocals driven genre. Punk, we're
mhm,
like, guitar, baby. You know what I mean? And the vocals is on top. Okay, that's cool. And if you got a good singer, cool. But
mhm,
it's not the main drive for that music. So I had this excellent singer that people were amazed that, wow,
yeah,
how did you get, what is this singer doing with this kind of music, right? And so to lose a singer like that really sucks. But so I deliver more like the punk sound
mhm,
that you would expect
yeah,
with it. But then that means we can't do as much either, though, because I do jazz, blues. For punk artists, I mean, you can find examples of this. Like NoFX did a song, Straight Edge, and it sounds like a jazz number, and Fat Mike singing like Louis Armstrong.
mhm,
And but it's kind of like a gimmick
mhm,
for that song. I do jazz, and it's no, I love jazz. I'm doing jazz, and I'm not. It's not a gimmick. You know what I mean? But so I can do certain things, but then
mhm,
I'm more limited because I'm not as good, accomplished as a vocalist as my old singer or some
yeah,
cats. But so there I'm doing a single next week. In fact, let's go. We play live. It's a
mhm,
garage rock sound talking about garage rock. But then I'm also releasing a jazz number. I wrote an original jazz
oh,
composition. Yeah, I might do two. It depends on the time.
mhm,
But it's totally I don't know, you say it has more finesse. It's jazz, you know what I mean? So you're gonna compare the two and think, wow, that's pretty cool. I'm hoping the fans will think that,
yeah.
add some variety in there. That's cool.
When I was watching the YouTube version of Let's Go, and at the end you said a friend of yours wrote that about the rock. If I heard it correctly, Rocky Horror Picture Show. Is that right?
Yeah, that's correct. Buddy of mine, Alan Abrams, he's an old lead singer. Like a lot of my old friends are like old bandmates from something, you know what I mean? And we all have stories. But of course, you already know that. So he wrote this song, Let's Go. He dreamt up the music, something like in a dream or something. He's like, got this song, and he's
Mhm.
like, have you heard that anywhere? I'm like, no, I haven't heard that anywhere. So he had these, came up with these lyrics, and I think like I added like a bridge, you know, I did something like that, and so it became kind of like our song. But
Mhm.
really, he wrote it, and it was about all this time we used to spend going to the Rocky Horror Picture Show. And what we would do is we'd go every weekend. There
Mhm.
would be a street scene, and it come midnight, people would go into the show,
Mhm.
and I had friends on cast, so they worked it, right?
Mhm.
Or you would go to the parties and people would meet there to find where the parties were, and
Mhm.
then you would go. But you could go either way,
Mhm.
right? And so he wrote this song about that. Let's go, right? Because we used to do that, and for years we did that.
Wow.
Yeah, so it was fun to still do that song,
Mhm.
and I shared with him uh, like a couple weeks back.
Mhm.
I was like, hey, check this out, your old song. And he was jazzed about it, man. He thought it was cool. After all this time, like literally like 20 years, he's like doing that song still. That's cool. You know, he liked it. So it
That's
was fun to do. Yeah.
that's got to feel good that he is on board with it, man. That's got to feel good.
Yeah. 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 Yeah, definitely. He's a musician, so he understands, you know,
Yeah.
doing right now doing music is tough. And so
Yeah.
it was cool. Yeah.
So every band has a secret ingredient that nobody sees. What's your guys's?
Oh yeah, I don't know. Let's see. So what I did with the Ninja Kitties music is I did a fusion of old school and new school punk.
Hmm.
So with like your favorite punk acts, think back to when you were first introduced to punk. It was probably something like the Sex Pistols,
Yeah.
or one of those original acts that we would
Hmm.
say, you know, those were like the bands that introduced the
Hmm.
sound, you know. So, but and there was a lot of good with, especially with that first Pistols album. Everyone was jealous of it.
Yeah.
Everyone wanted the sound. It was like a godsend.
Hmm.
And it's one of those bands that band is, it's like a one-off of one great studio album, and I
Hmm.
think they didn't do another studio album. The
Hmm.
other albums, but not a studio album. So there, you get bands with like this one hit wonder for an album or a song or
Hmm.
something. But so that album is notorious. It's
Yeah.
awesome for these kids coming out of England, right?
Hmm.
So I've got this 1970s old school punk influence
Hmm.
that's always there. It's probably stronger than any other influence. And
Hmm.
then, but I also liked this melodic punk sound that emerged here in SoCal um, around the 90s and 2000s, where
Hmm.
we had like with Fat Mike doing Fat Records, you get this really fast attack on the drums, right?
Hmm.
It's like speed metal on the drums for
Yeah.
parts of the music. And there was a lot of stuff, interesting stuff in there I liked too. And then people would play these off against each other, old school punk versus new school punk. I would see
Hmm.
this to this day. People are doing that. There
Hmm.
are shows at the Doll Hut, I think it's Anaheim, to this day that are being built that are being advertised for like early August or something like
Hmm.
coming up. They're happening now or around the corner, and it's punk versus melodic punk, and
Hmm.
it's a either or kind of thing. And what I liked was that I like techniques from both approaches. And so my, I guess, secret ingredient, I think, is I drew elements from both
Hmm.
that I really enjoy. I think are great, right? And I put those together,
Hmm.
and I layered over some seasoning, some pepper deck with yet some other techniques that I like.
Uh-huh.
So if there's a secret ingredient, I think it's like the way the blend,
And
so
that
to say, the
was
mixture, you know.
I noticed that very early when I was watching your YouTube videos and as well as listening to you on Spotify a little bit. I'm pretty sure on Spotify. I was listening to you driving down the road, driving down the road yesterday, just trying to prep for this. That way I didn't sit here like I'm reading a document about. I wanted to be able to have an actual conversation with you, man. I
Yeah.
pride myself on that. But that was something I noticed about your guys' music. It's very different than other punk. The punk bands I've covered, I've talked to, or I've seen live. They've they fit in one of those categories, the early genre, like early fittings, or the newer stuff. And what threw me about you guys are like constantly weaving back and forth between them. It's like, it was really fun to
Yeah.
listen to. It's really You guys are one of the first bands in a while that's really kept me on my toes. Um, that was really cool. Another band that did that was very genre bending. they're all over the map, not just within the same genre, but they're all over the place. Was a Hurricane on Saturn. Their stuff was really out there too. But you guys are two of the bands that I've listened to recently that have just really, and like, okay, you're a punk band, and it just, you are a punk band. There's no denying that, but it definitely, you guys are weaving it out of the norms or the standards or the current boundaries, if you want to call it that, I guess.
Yeah, yeah,
I like that. I like it when somebody tries to, like, I like this, let's make them work. That's
yeah.
awesome as a listener, man. So very kudos, big kudos on that one, man. Very cool.
Thanks, man. Thank you.
So
I thought about it. I thought about so there's an art that we've lost, the art of making an album,
mhm,
right? We used to think about the song order, because you had to get your ass up and go switch the album over. It took time and energy. So we used to think about it, and we wanted like the last song on side one to grab you.
mhm,
And it had to energize you enough to motivate you enough to get up and go switch the record, right? So I started thinking about something similar, the
mhm,
song order,
mhm,
and with the influences that I just explained, I
mhm,
thought consciously about it, because A&R people with different outfits, like True Rock Revival, Design out of Florida, just
mhm,
different people had
mhm.
pointed things out to me over the
Mhm.
years. Think about tempo variation. Think
Yeah.
about and I'm like drawing stuff in
Mhm,
from just the different conversations and relationships I've had over the years, all centered around music, right? And
mhm,
so it just made me aware of that fact. So I intentionally tried to mix up the ordering for the songs, where you could go from something that was more melodic to something that was more old school and back
mhm,
for, I thought about that, and
mhm.
tried to give you some variety to keep you interested, so it didn't tire your ear out as quickly,
Yeah.
hearing the standard kind of formula or something
Mhm.
like that. So I'm glad you caught it, though, because that
It
was
worked.
planned.
It
Yeah,
worked.
exactly.
It
There you
worked,
go.
man.
Right on.
Absolutely. So I'm just curious, was there any songs that you guys wrote that almost didn't make the album, but you're happy that it did?
Oh yeah. So Let's Go didn't make the album, unfortunately, because the album, the way I was using time markers for the songs that I'd had from older recordings from being in the studio. So I'm looking um at those the time designations for the songs, right? The
Mhm,
timing for the songs, and adding that up for the projected album. And then when I retracked things,
mhm,
like I said, I had to redo vocals,
mhm,
and that involved remixing on some stuff.
mhm,
Um, those times changed a little bit, and what the effect of that was I had too much music for one record.
mhm.
Um, that too much music will fit on this medium, right? So digitally, I could include it, but
Mhm,
then it wouldn't be on the record. So I started to make the record. I started to think about the space on the record, and I had to drop music. So Let's Go, and then COVID-19 and Back from the Dead do not make it onto the LP
mhm,
because of the space limitation, the limitation of the medium. But um, all but Let's Go is on the Spotify, on the digital platform release of
mhm,
the LP. And I was doing that and cut Let's Go first. And then I found I had to cut more when
mhm,
I was doing the record. So that's why it went in that order. Let's Go was cut. Then COVID-19 and Back from the Dead were cut. I cut Back from the Dead because it's a slow song. It's 5 minutes. It's a tribute to Steve Baders.
mhm,
But it's a long song. So if I cut that to keep two others,
mhm.
right? I figured I'd rather give you two songs than one.
Right.
And then I cut COVID-19. It went like 3 seconds over the accepted amount of time. And which was really shitty, because I wrote them and said, "Can't I just bend this rule for like 3 seconds?" And they said, "No, sorry, we're trying to work with that right now." And I was like, "Damn, okay." So I cut COVID-19 because after all this time, I figured people are tired of hearing about it. You know, maybe it might make them think something bad, you know?
Well, I'm at the
So
point where you talk about COVID-19, man. It's like when you're a kid, your grandpa back in my day, you know, and now it's like kids today is like back during the pandemic, you just see people like, oh my God. They just
okay,
roll
you
their
know,
eyes. They just roll their
yeah,
eyes at you.
I didn't want to do that. So I didn't want to cause one of those moments, especially listening to an album I just produced. You know what I mean? You're like, chuck it away or something.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
yeah, so I cut it for that reason. And it's a fun song musically. It's fun and it'll make you think of bands like Bad Religion. Not my
Mhm.
vocal attack on it, the music.
Right.
Um, and which sucks then because that's such an awesome band.
Mhm.
I mean, you know, I think the trick would be just to change the tag, what it's about from
Mhm.
COVID-19 to you know, just one word and
Mhm.
retract the vocals or something, and I could do it, but then it's too late. So yeah, so there's a few songs I wish they could have made it on the
Mhm.
record. They couldn't for reasons mainly of space.
So I saw you held up the LP a couple times. Are you guys doing CDs as well or just the vinyl?
Yeah. So right now we've got the vinyl,
Mhm.
and this batch is almost gone. I've been holding on to just a few left. It wasn't a big batch. I could have sold them all already by now, but I'm saving some for shows just to get it out
Mhm.
across, you know. But I'm gonna be pressing probably another. I have like 1 or 200 records in the next month. We also have CDs, but you got to order those directly
Mhm.
online. You could also order these shirts I've got made. People keep asking for the shirt, like
Uh-huh.
everywhere. They keep at, and I mean, I'm at Grooveworks Studio in Long Beach rehearsing, and they're asking me, well, I want to get a T-shirt, you know, and I think it's so awesome. But they're like, after seeing that and listening to the record, we've got to get the shirt, you know. And other people are telling me the same thing. I've got to get that shirt. Where can I get this shirt? Um, Evan was saying
Mhm.
you need to have a shirt because that cover and the name is just too good to pass
Yeah.
up. If you
Yeah.
want a fun band shirt, that's it, you know, for a new band. And I thought, yeah. So he helped me actually kind of put that package together behind the scenes. Not and it's not complicated or you know, but he just knows a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
So I threw this together, and you can get the LP, the vinyl, the
Mhm.
CD, and the shirts right now if you go through our social media, like Instagram and Facebook, and you just find
Mhm.
I think it's Instagram. You'll find the URLs to where you could go and order a record or a CD or a shirt.
I'll uh
Distro. Oh, I'm
I'll
sorry.
go ahead and I was just gonna say I'll make sure to find those on there when I post the video. I will definitely make sure that that link's there for you guys to
Cool.
help you out. I personally, like when I go to shows and stuff, I'm one of those weird people that still buy physical media because I like to get the band to sign stuff. I never do selfies with bands. I always buy this physical. It helps you guys out, and I'm a
Yeah.
collector, you know. So especially with LPs and that cover art, dude. When you guys make it to my area, you better have one of those for me, man. 'Cause I'm definitely buying one, and you guys are gonna have to just have to
Yeah.
sign it for me 'cause I love the artwork. I don't care.
Yeah,
I've
dude.
never listened to it, man. I love the artwork. I want it.
Can I can I say something about it? Uh,
Absolutely.
it's a plug for Anna Trevet, my old friend Anna Trevethan. She did the artwork for this. So years ago, you know, back in the day, right? I used to play DDO
Okay.
online, and people knew I was crazy, and everyone knew I was in Southern California doing music,
Mhm.
and they wanted to hang out because they were, you know, from all over the world, and
Right.
they meet this crazy guy that could do fun shit with the game, but it was also doing music. You know what I mean? So she actually did the artwork, and she's a beautiful artist. She's a beautiful musician. She has a
Uh-huh.
screamo act right now. It's just awesome.
Mhm.
So she did the album cover for dirt cheap. I'm serious. Like,
It-
and she did the back art too. It's different because you have the cat on the and the big bubble, and
Yeah.
you don't have it in the back. So there, that's actually different art, right? And so then it just carries over to that shirt so nicely. Um, but she's my secret for the art. She actually did like 3 album covers for me. I've done like 5 albums.
Mhm.
That's why I said before I was serious with music,
Mhm.
but then COVID just caused, you know,
Yeah.
caused a big, you know, hiatus, probably for a lot of people,
Yeah.
even still, right? Yeah.
It
So
was a very he was a huge disruption for a lot of people, man.
yeah, yeah. So socially, we're still dealing with it. You know, economically, we're still
Yeah.
trying to figure out kind of like I think the movie industry is in a weird position now. People still don't want to go out as much to the theaters. We could get
I
streams. You
Yeah,
know what I
I can't
mean?
remember the last time I went to the theater. It was my wife
Yeah.
and I, maybe once or twice since COVID restrictions lifted.
Yeah.
But prior to that, we were going all the time. Now it's like I can't justify the expense. I just rather sit at
Mhm.
home, buy my own
Yeah.
snacks.
No, that's exactly right. That's what happened. I thought it was a smart way to push a change too, culturally, and
Yeah.
change if someone was thinking like that. But it seemed really convenient because now people don't want to go back to,
Hmm.
we want to rush things to streaming.
Hmm.
We
Yeah.
used to have to wait months to see this movie
Yeah.
on stream or pick it up on Blu-ray, right?
Yeah.
Now it's like 30 days
Yeah.
or quicker. And I mean, but as consumers, we like that. You know what I mean? So I feel kind of bad about it, but the world's going to keep changing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Well, so thank you for giving me a minute to share for that for the
no
artwork.
worries.
Yeah.
This that's what today's about, man. It's about learning about you guys. You guys I was both happy and a little sad that there was not much about you guys yet. So it's
Mm.
like, yeah, I get to bring you guys out. I get to introduce you. The sad part of that is I don't have much to go on when I'm building up my questions for you guys. So
Sure. Yeah. Yeah.
is there a song that you guys play when you guys do a show running? Is there a song that still surprises you when you play it?
Surprises. I don't know. Like, so the title song "Ninja Kitties" is probably one of the more complex songs.
Hmm.
I think, I wouldn't attempt a song on stage unless I knew we could do it.
Hmm.
Like, you sound like a gamble.
Hmm.
We might pull this off tonight. We might not, 50-50. You have to be able to do the song.
Right.
But there's still like this element of risk
Hmm.
with doing certain songs just because of how complex they are. Right. So it's not like Frank Zappa's Black Page. It's fucking monstrously complex. But it is complex.
Hmm.
And so every time we do it, there's a risk to fucking up.
Hmm.
So I think whenever I get through that song, I'm a little happy.
Hmm.
I don't know if surprise is the right word, but I'm fucking thankful I can be fuck that up. You know what I mean? Because that's one where it can easily, just because of the drums and the songs composition and structure. Um, yeah. So I love playing the driver. That one has like the best payoff for me performance wise. The way the guitar and the drums work, delivering a certain trick in that song. That's one of my favorites to play.
Understood. When you mentioned the Sex Pistols earlier, I remember making the transition because when I was in junior high, going into high school, I made a transition from like being a little gangster rap, hardcore into gangster rap and stuff, and I went into transition and back into growing up on Black Sabbath and stuff, and then making the transition back into metal. And then the first time I heard the Sex Pistols, I'm like, no, not for me, man. And I heard like Dead Kennedys, and then the local rock station in Cleveland is called the Buzzard, and they had Buzzard Palooza when like early days of Buzzard of Lollapalooza, and Green Day was the headliner. We sat through 3 days of some of the worst music I've ever heard, and as right as Green Day is starting to take off, it's like 92, 93 ish, and I was really into Green Day, and I'm like, this is punk. I'm like, really? And I was too young to understand the technicalities that go into playing punk. As far as, I mean, you got to. Some people, they just this is not their thing, and no judgment. But when I actually started sitting down to understand and appreciate the message and like I said, the technicality, for lack of a better word, that goes into it, it's like, oh, I instantly had a better appreciation for it. And so that leads me into my next question about you guys. If your music were called something other than punk, what ridiculous genre name would you give it? Would it be like tactical punk, feline core, karate rock, stealth punk? So,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Um, that's cool. Yeah, I don't know, huh? Maybe think of something fresh, a fresh name for it or something. Um, so I use punk as a categorization that
mhm,
works because what we did was we revived old rock and roll song formulas
mhm,
at a time where when prog rock had pretty much gone the distance.
Mhm.
So so then my songwriting follows in that tradition where I'm most of the songs anyways, not all of them, because I'm doing it's a fusion really. But a lot of the songs, the majority of the songs draw from an older punk rock approach,
Mhm.
older rock and roll approach to the songwriting, the formulas. You got like verse, chorus, verse, chorus, that kind of
Yeah.
those kinds of patterns. And so I call it punk because that's what it does. That's what I'm doing compositionally. And then it's melodic because some of it is more progressive, and
Mhm.
I'm thinking more about updating, right? So I don't know if there would be. I can't think of a good word for it. Some kind of some phrase with the word rock. Um, and even if you add something to before something punk rock,
Mhm.
that might work. Hmm. It is a fusion of old and new school
Mhm.
punk that and it's updated, so it's not just one or the other either. So that if I had a new phrase, it would be something that draws that together,
Yeah.
um, for the fan, for the person, the consumer. Yeah, person thinking of music. Yeah, so they could get a good idea just right away from one
Mhm.
word. What's this music about? I just can't think of something that brilliant off the top of my head. I'm not witty right now this morning, I guess. I can't think of something, but yeah, it would be something like that that could draw all of that together and tell you right away from the one word that's what we're doing musically. When people talked about like Yngwie Malmsteen's stuff when he's starting out with the shred sweep arpeggio shit, they called it neoclassical, and he didn't like that. He doesn't
Mhm.
like that, right?
Really?
But that's still how people refer to it because he's drawing so heavily from classical music. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Uh, so it would be something like that. You know, some neo something. It would be something that sets it apart from
Mhm.
what is before, but and adds to it to try to point you in the direction where the music is going. But I just don't know I can't think of the word for it. Yeah, feline karate rock might work at it. Or
Yeah. The
yeah.
feline core, or the karate rock. Yeah.
Mhm.
So just curious, as you said, you've been doing this a long time, and I mean, I don't know about you, but even like when I photograph a show, I've been doing it for several years now. Every show, I still have jitters. I was just curious, what as a musician, what's scarier to you, walking on the stage or releasing new music on the internet where everybody is instantly a music critic?
Oh yeah, probably still the stage performance approach.
Mhm.
Because as a musician, as an artist, you get used to criticism. Like it's always going to be there. So that makes it just easier. So you do music enough,
Mhm.
it's kind of, you're always dealing with that. And it's always going to be there. But when you take the stage for a performance, then that's just a finite point in time.
Mhm.
Um, or yeah, you're having that emotional reaction,
Yeah.
whatever the setup. So I think because of the nature of what the performance itself, taking the stage
Mhm.
as, you know, that's probably where I feel more emotion, I have more physical reaction to the music as an artist than sitting back and thinking, how are people receiving my music? And
Mhm.
say you do that and like months later, it's still, you're still going to be in the same situation as far as the internet perception is concerned or the
Yeah.
public perception is concerned. You might hear more reviews and whatever, but it's going to be the same for you. People are going to say good and bad things about it. It's how it is.
Yeah.
That's how all art is. Yeah. Yeah. So I think for me, it's that initial when you still go out to perform, there's
Mhm.
more of a reaction, but you
So
use it.
yeah, you mentioned a lot of your influences and everything. I'm just curious, how old were you for your first concert, and who was it?
Hmm. Yeah. So one of my first probably shows would be like my friends' bands. Uh, my drummer, Santos De Leon, would do bands. And those were the first shows I would see because I knew the people and they would be playing at local festivals,
Mm,
carnivals. I
cool.
didn't have to go anywhere. You know what I mean?
Makes it easier.
Yeah. Yeah. And when you're young, you're not really spending money, you don't have much money to spend. Um, so I think from just working with memory and the question, just right now, uh, I'm not exactly sure the very first artist I saw perform live, but the ones that I can remember will be like Friends acts when I was
Mhm,
young, and I was always surprised that they were doing music,
mhm.
because it would be like uh, junior high, early high school.
Oh, okay.
You
Yeah.
have friends doing shows. Um, Before that, my folks didn't like take me out to shows.
Mhm.
I didn't go to shows because I didn't have any money, you know.
Yeah.
So we found ourselves like my brother and I were listening to my dad's music or something, and be
Mhm.
like the Cars or something, Bob Seger, so we were not
Yeah.
catching going to those acts when we were kids,
Yeah.
yeah. So probably like local bands that totally take for granted. Those were the first at that when I started getting into music, those were the
Mhm,
first acts that I really started to see.
mhm.
And just because those were the only ones I could see.
Very cool. Very cool. I was just curious about that. Now let me ask you,
Yeah, yeah.
in your opinion, are eyebrows facial hair?
As what?
Are eyebrows considered facial hair?
Oh, I would think so.
I like to ask really random questions sometimes just to see how people react to them. I
Yeah.
I interviewed Doyle and he looked at me. He's like, I don't have any. Oh, you really don't. Sorry. Hmm.
From the Misfits, you're
Yeah,
saying?
yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
He's doing his own solo thing now.
That's
Uh,
awesome. Cool.
so just curious because you mentioned Hollywood and you're in Southern California. I have to ask this: if they made a movie about the Ninja Kitties, who's playing you?
Oh shoot. Hmm. I don't know. Let's see. Who's acting right now? It- like so it would be like yeah, who could play me right now at my age? Shoot. I have to think about it. So who's got a tan with a lot of tattoos? Uh,
Oh, they could
they
always
could,
add
they,
sleeves, man.
they could probably, I was gonna say they could probably fake the tattoos, right?
Yeah.
Probably the tan too. I don't know. CG. Shoot. Hmm. Yeah. No name comes to mind. It's
Oh.
interesting because I think about this too, how uh like I remembered actors when I was younger, when I was
Oh.
an adolescent. I remembered seeing up and coming actors and
Mhm,
them being distinctive,
mhm,
right? Like they have the Brat Pack, and you got with Brad Pitt, and then Johnny Depp, and
mhm.
then you had Emilio Estevez. Yeah, there were these groups, and I
Yeah.
remember seeing them. Phoenix, of
Mhm,
course, and I remember thinking, okay, and these people are actors, like they stuck with it.
mhm.
And nowadays, I'm not seeing as many actors that are creating that kind of legacy that are
Right.
sticking with it. There are some, no, Calamet's doing stuff, and he's
Mhm,
he's younger, but I don't see as many. I don't know.
mhm.
Is that just me or is it the industry? That's what I'm wondering.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, or I wish I had a name fresh. You know what I mean? But and I fucking watch movies, dude. You know what I mean? I mean, I do. So I should have the answer. But I feel like it's just the sign. That's where we're at. We were talking about the movie industry being different. I
Mhm.
wonder if it's like that with acting too. The production side of
Yeah.
things, not just
Yeah.
on the consumer side. I don't know. Who would you? Can I turn it around? If you seeing me, seeing me, what do you think? Who are you thinking? You know what I mean? Because I can't come up with a name who looks
I
like me.
I honestly have no idea. I just
Yeah.
it's never I always what I find funny is people look at actors and like you're pretending to be someone else. It's not that difficult. And
Right.
I've known people that are actors, and I've tried to do it. I can't. I literally can't. And so it's like everything. We all have our niche, and you look at like Gary Oldman. He said he's played so many characters over the years, he's forgotten who he is. He's forgotten his own accent. He's forgotten who he actually is. And it's like, I don't want to do that. I have enough problems as it is. I don't need to forget stuff even more than that than I usually do. So
Yeah. Well, I had fans tell me you look kind of like Keanu Reeves, right? But this was years ago. And I've had fans tell me recently, you look like that guy Pedro Pascal, whatever. And
yeah.
I'm like, and I used to have a goatee, right? So I'm
Mhm.
like, oh, okay. So I mean, I'm told anywhere from Keanu Reeves to Pedro that, you know what I mean? So I'm like, all
Neither
right,
are bad choices, man. Neither are bad choices, by the
okay,
way.
sure, okay, cool, yeah. They're just like, to me, like they look so different. So, but
Yeah,
okay, cool. So maybe one of those cats.
that's awesome, man. So one thing, I forget what I was going to ask you. So you guys, you're getting ready to drop some more singles. You got the album. You're getting ready to do some more pressings for and everything. Where are
Yeah.
you guys? You guys are based out of South Carolina. Wow, South California. I can talk. I promise. Opposite side of the country. So you're based in California. Do you have any tour dates or tour plans to the eastern side or?
No, I'd like to tour out wider, nationally or
Mhm,
even, I mean, internationally. I Right now I'm confined to local
mhm,
tours, but I can tour. It's just it's hard. Not everyone in the act can,
mhm,
So I would, if I had the chance though, to work with artists that would allow me to tour, I would because I
mhm.
can.
Right.
Um, but we're playing locally right now. I had to pass up a few shows at the Troubadour. I
Mhm,
had to pass up a show at the Doll Hut.
mhm,
I had to pass up a show at is it there's another one. There are some, punk events that we put
mhm,
up, like the Doll Hut. There's something, it's an all day thing or something
mhm,
like, and I had to pass up some good offers because my basis is like double booked.
mhm.
He's booked somewhere, so because of availability,
Right.
right? But we're playing a show at Harvard and Stone on August 11th. That's coming up. Uh, we just did one at the Viper Room, and they don't want you to do anything for a few weeks afterward. So there is plenty of time between then and then August 11th.
Right.
Um, uh, I am recording that single. It's actually going to be probably two songs
Mhm,
coming up this weekend, so I've been prepping for that. Going over some material with my drummer, doing a
mhm,
lot of work with him out at Grooveworks Studio in Long Beach.
mhm.
So we are prepping for the August 11th gig right now. Um, Beyond that date, I don't have anything. We don't have anything scheduled.
Mhm.
So I am looking more at it right now, though. Um, I was hoping to have more shows planned at this point, but there's some things happened that prevented me from doing that.
Right.
But we still, I still have, like I said, we scheduled one show with Harvard and Stone. It's through, um, I forget the name of the production company. Um, Sonic Recordings Production, something like that. It's um yeah, so I'm working on stuff like that.
Mhm.
So I do that. I manage the act, perform in the act, handle everything behind the scenes, and work full time. So I keep busy. But
Oh, but
as far as upcoming dates, that's the closest one that I
mhm.
have for everybody. Um, and that's only because, like I said, a few things happened. We'd probably have a couple more in there.
Right.
But after August 11th, I think we're gonna pick it up more to we'll be able to play more frequently. We should be able to if things go
Mhm,
right according to plan. Something happened where it kind of messed up some of my plans and
mhm,
preparation, um, and that can happen. Um, but if everything goes to plan now, we should have at least it's like up to maybe a couple shows a month for
mhm.
the rest of the year,
Oh,
which
cool.
is yeah, for me, that's going to be a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's I've gone out on tour with a couple of my friends. They're in bands and stuff for a couple days, 3 days here and there. I come home and sleep for 2 or 3 days. I don't know how bands tour. I don't understand how you guys live like that. I cannot fathom it. So more power to you, man. So
Yeah, yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot to travel
yeah,
and perform. So add performance on top of it.
great. And with
Performance
people,
really tough.
and before I started doing this, man, before as a concert goer, you come in, you see the so everything's set up, your sound check's done. As a concert goer, you have no idea about the 8 hours plus to happen before the doors swung open. And people need to understand that ticket prices suck, but at the same time, there's a reason for that. And a lot of times, you
Yeah.
know, because there's a lot of work that goes into it. There's a lot of manpower that these people don't see or understand that's actually happening. So
Yeah. The work I'm doing is tough. People will straight tell me.
yeah,
They just tell me directly, you got a shitload of energy to do that.
well,
And you
that's the
just see me
people.
sweat.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah. Some
and that's
fans
the
know
people
though.
see what you're doing, and that's
Yeah,
what
yeah.
people. And like I said, people like myself that hey, yeah, that's a cool looking album. I'm gonna buy that. Okay. People don't understand what went into it. You don't have, like you said, you're doing an indie style, so you don't have the backers, you don't have the sponsors, you don't have the studio. You're doing this. You're like, I'm saving up, and I'm putting my blood, sweat, and tears into this, literally. And people need to see that. People need to appreciate that. We're too busy with, oh, this is shiny, okay, and they don't care how it got there.
Yeah, yeah, I hear you. Yep, that was a problem going back now for some time with the rock industry.
Mhm,
Zappa was talking about that back in the 60s. You could find
mhm,
interviews with him talking just about that, and people today will say it. They'll tell me the same thing.
mhm,
I look at music and I'm not thinking about the artists.
mhm.
Does it sound good? And that's how
Yeah,
they decide what they're listening to. Um, yeah, so we've definitely disconnected the artist from the art,
yeah,
unfortunately,
yeah,
and that's just how, like, I think at marketing, the way the machinery works, just, because
yeah.
the medium music, you could just hear it. You don't have to look at anything,
Mhm,
and you could just hear it. If you like, cool, go with that ear, go with your ear.
yeah.
Um, Unfortunately, there are artists connected to that music and they just kind of disappear when you
Yeah.
do it that way. But yeah. Thank you,
So
man, for checking it out. Yeah, for sure.
no worries, no worries. I will be in touch because, like I said, I've got to have me one of one of these albums, man. I've
For
got to get
sure.
one of
Yeah,
those.
I got
So
you. Okay.
I'll leave you with this question, man. Has there ever been an interview where you're like, they didn't ask me the one thing I wanted to talk about? Is there anything I didn't ask you about that you want to talk about?
Oh, cool question, man. Um, yeah, no, no, no. Nothing comes to mind. It'd be like, if I had more gigs slated, I'd be plugging them. Like I said, some things happened that weren't supposed to happen that
Right.
prevented me from booking more. But I dealt with it. It's handled, and we do have some shows lining. We're starting to plan to
Mhm.
unfold, um, to present. Uh, Covered the single that's coming
Mhm.
up. So that's going to be really cool. Garage rock and then some jazz. I hope fans dig it because the jazz is going to be different from,
And where are you dropping those on again? Are you doing YouTube and Spotify, or just all the streaming? Or
yeah, pretty much all the digital platforms.
okay,
Um, yeah. Um,
I'll
and
def I'll definitely be putting all your socials and everything up when I post this on YouTube and stuff.
cool.
And I'll be
Yeah, yeah.
obviously tagging you guys, but I'll definitely make sure to put where people can get your merch store and stuff.
Sweet.
And then if you want, just remind me. I'm sorry, remind me when you're dropping the singles, man.
Cool. I will. Yeah. So next week I'm working on them. I don't have the date on when I'll release them.
Okay.
Yeah, we have to see how much I get done. If everything goes right, I should have them done after the weekend's session.
Cool.
But sometimes it takes longer than you plan, or
Just
you just
trust
have
me, I
to.
get it.
Yeah, you know what I mean. Yeah, exactly.
I always tell my wife, "Do you want it done right or right now? Pick one." So
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, sometimes it happens together.
very cool, man. I really appreciate you taking time to sit down with me today, Elton.
Thank
Really.
you. Thank you,
So,
Ken.
so like I said, I will be in touch with you. And if you guys are heading this way, if you do secure a larger tour or something, man, please hit me up. I'd be more than happy to get you back on. We do another sit down and help you promote as much as you can.
That sounds cool. Right on, bud.
All right, man. Thanks, man. Have a good day,
Yeah.
dude.
You too, man. Rock on, bud. Take care.
All right, bye.
Bye bye.